So probably, you know, what is data science, why the data field is growing, and the basic overview of data science. This all the concepts now we are going to discuss. As we are discussing this concept, your data science is nothing but a combination of mathematical statistics, and then business technology, and then what else we can tell. We can tell problem solving. All this thing, group of all this thing is your data science. Data science is not a what to say, it's not a programming language, or it's not a mathematical concept. A combination of your data analytics and data visualization, all things is known as your data science. Now this is your data science. So when you are just going ahead with the data science, your data field is growing nowadays. The reason is, 5 years back, oil is the most powerful resource. Now data. Uh, Nowadays, each and every 5 seconds, people is emitting around 1.5 MB of data. So the peoples, they started to think what to do with this data. So that's the reason we got this data science. So data science is not a new field. It's a very old field. I will tell you how. So what is data? So data, that is nothing but a collection of information. If I am asking you I am asking about your data. Probably you may give your email ID or your mobile number or your resume, those things. So that's what your data is. So data, that is nothing but a collection of information about a person or a business or something else. So in this data dictionary, we are having some words. That's all like, each and every day the word is generating data at increasing pace only. That means it's going to, if you are getting 10,000 data today, definitely tomorrow you will get around 11,000 data. So every day you are getting the data at an increasing pace. So consumers, sensors, and experiments, like scientific experiments, those kind of stuff only we are, through those kind of stuff only we are actually getting the data. So then in finance, administration, natural, social sciences, geographic, history, everywhere we need this data science. And even this biotechnology, in engineering background, everywhere we need this data science. And being an large or a smaller data set, that is not a problem, but we need to make your data set to be more efficient. So this are some fields that's actually available in your data science. I will tell you. Data analytics, that's nothing but, I am going to give you one data. The data, that is nothing but an Excel sheet. And by using that Excel sheet, what you are going to do here is, you are going to analyze something. Okay. So very simply, what we can tell here is, you are going to analyze the present data, that is known as your data analytics. And you are just going to tell me what is today's sales report of my company. That's what your data analytics is. So usually once we analyze something, we won't tell that in a we won't tell that in a table format. So you are telling, today this COVID-19 cases in Tamil Nadu, one column, and in Kerala another row, and in Karnataka another row. So you won't make everything in a table kind of format, and we will not show to the users. We will create a graph. Creating the graph is known as data visualization. Data visualization is a very important concept, where you are just going to give a dashboard of your data. So that's what your data visualization is. So the next thing is big data. Big data, that is nothing but, now you have a Google, for example. Now you are searching something in Google. So probably you are searching about what is lemon tree. Okay. So in this search, now I want to know how many of the peoples are searched about what is lemon tree. This is the very first thing. So once you just to go ahead with it, 1 second, let me share you the one more screen. 1 second. There is something called Google Trends. Okay. If you are going ahead with this Google Trends, 1 second. If you are going ahead with the Google Trends, see, this is my Google page. I just type Google Trends. See, you will be getting around this much of results in 0.45 seconds. This is what big data. So when you are just searching something in Google, Google is actually processing this much of data. The data, which is a very huge in size, which is known as a big data. So why we need this big data is, I will explain it in Google Trends. Now you search it for a lemon tree, for example. So now what I am just going to do here is, let me search the same thing, lemon. Okay. So now I am just searching this lemon. So we will get how many people actually searched about lemon. See, in August 4, 2019, the peoples actually searched around 65. And then in November 2024, searched about 71, and in this March 15 they are actually searching more, 96, and then 94, 90. So you are getting this graph prediction with this result, right? This is known as your big data. So you can able to change the countries. Here you have a lot of countries. Here you can able to select from worldwide. Now we are actually selecting. So instead of, if you want to know about
Myra, you're telling, showing the graph is big data.
no, it's showing the count as a big data.
Sorry, showing the count is big data.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now see, in India, they actually searched around 89, 91, 90, 99 like this. So now in India means we are having almost a very huge landscape, and people are actually using more Google stuff. So when you are simply going ahead with this kind of stuff, you are going to process a huge amount of data. That is what your big data is. You are going to analyze like how much of data are actually processed, or how much data is there to analyze. So that is known as your big data. Okay. So the next thing is image analytics. Image analytics means I'm giving you an image, and from the image you are going to extract some information. That is what your image analytics is. So this image analytics is a very important field which is used to process your image. So for example, last year we got this Australian fire, right? I think this year start. So in those kind of scenario, you want to know which areas from this forest are affected more. So we can't simply walk through the forest and we can't able to come to know those things. So we are going to get the images from satellite, and you are just going to process that, and you can able to make sure about which areas are affected more. So that if you are just doing something like this, then that's known as your image analytics. So the next thing is data analytics, where I'm giving on data and I'm asking you what's today's sales report. So simply
Myra,
telling
the thing is, what are the other examples for image analytics? Where it is used?
what else other examples we can give, Jay.
Image analytics, or other
For
than
image
natural
analytics, what
disasters.
else we can give other examples? I told we can able to get it from only image. It may be any kind of image.
Oh, okay, okay, fine, okay.
So when you are just going ahead with this data analytics, which is mainly used to uh, get your present or your past data. So that's what your data analytics is. When it comes to BA team, okay, probably you guys are about to apply for a job, so you will get a lot of this BA openings as well. So this BA openings peoples are actually not going to perform anything in a coding background. They are going to perform everything in a Excel sheet. Okay, so that's what your business intelligence is. So BAT means business intelligence. So now what I'm asking you to do is, uh, so I'm selling some product. So I want to know what is that exactly happening in my product. So for that perspective, you need to create a dashboard and you need to show everything in a dashboard. So in another simple word, what we can tell is in a business intelligence team, they will show everything in a visualization manner. So they won't show you anything in a graph or they won't show you anything in a table. They will create some graph and they will give you the process. So what kind of process is actually happening. So very simply telling, the peoples in a BA team, they will mostly focus on the past events using your business data. So when it comes to data science, all this above process, this data analytics or data visualization and this machine learning and this statistics, combination of all this thing is known as your data science, nothing else. So let's we discuss about what is machine learning. So when you are just going ahead with the machine learning concept, let you guys needs to understand one thing very clearly. Machine learning, that is nothing but some of the predefined mathematical concept which is derived by some mathematicians few years back. Okay, so now you are making those machine learning concepts and you are just applying those machine learning concepts in a programming language, and based on that machine learning concept you are predicting your future. So for example, probability. We studied probability in our school days. Even in 9th standard, 10th standard, we studied about probability. Now, what I am asking you to do is, I am giving you one data set. The data set, it may be a kind of casino stuff. Okay. Okay, let's we go ahead with some kind of stuff. Now, I am just giving you the IPL cricket team data. So now I am asking you to predict which team will win this time. So this is what your task. So how we can able to predict the thing is, you used to go ahead with your past data first. So the past data means almost I'm giving you the data from I think 2015. So from 2015 to 2019, I'm giving all the data about each and every team and the players strike rate and then their performance and their physical activities, everything I attached with this data set. Okay. So for example, now you are having almost 10 columns and almost you are having around 150 rows, for example. Now analyzing all those things, you need to tell me which team will win this year. So for that perspective, what we used to do is, we will apply some mathematical concept, probability or a linear regression, some concept you will apply. So this probability linear regression, we didn't develop anything. This all a predefined formulas which is developed by some mathematician. Now, with the help of Python or with the help of some other language, you are writing your mathematical stuff in a coding and you are applying to the data set that is known as your machine learning. So when you are referring Google, some blogs they used to write machine learning is nothing but which is used to make machines to work without humans. That is not actually machine learning. Machine learning is 100% mathematical stuff. When you are going for artificial intelligence, AI is the field which is going to work without human but based on human instruction. So for example, Zomato's chatbot. So if you are going to Zomato and if you are telling hi, Zomato will reply with a hi, chatbot, correct? Then you can't able to ask the COVID-19 scenarios in your Zomato. You can able to ask only about your future orders. or current order, correct? So this kind of scenarios, which is known as your artificial intelligence. So we are having a one more term in our this machine learning field, that is nothing but a deep learning. So very simply, what we can tell in deep learning is only humans can, machines can't. Now you are going to make machines to work better than human. That's what your deep learning is. So machine learning is a max. You are applying your max to your data, and you are just going to predict the future. That's what your data science is. And artificial intelligence means you are going to work, machine is going to work without human, but based on human instruction. Deep learning means you are going to make machines to work better than human. So this is the evaluation of your machine learning. So when you are applying for a job, you will get a lot of confusion. The confusion one is nothing but the constant evaluation. So your data science is not a new field. It's actually 20 years old field. So the very first thing is statistician. So 25 years ago, the person who's even in some small shops, when we was a kid, we can see that one person in each shop. So in grocery shop, they will have a account note, and in that account note, they will note it out everything. So end of the day, they will process the data and they will come to know, okay, how much of this sales happens today, and how much product we sold, and what are the remaining product. So the same kind of thing only DMart also doing. So whatever we seen in this small grocery shop, one person is handling with the account note. The same thing the DMart, Big Basket, Amazon, and Flipkart. All those peoples are doing. But for that small shop, you are having almost every day only 100 datas, max 100 datas. So you can handle with a note. But for Amazon and for Flipkart, for Big Basket, for all those things, we can't simply make it in a note, right? Because every day you will get around, I think I'm not wrong, around 10 lakh data. Okay, average. So you can't simply sit and do that in a note or something. So we need some programming language to read the 10 lakh data, and we need this programming language to process the 10 lakh data. So for this kind of constant evaluation in your data field, your the statistical field also getting increase, getting changed. So when you are just going ahead with this statistical field means, simply telling 20 years old, the person who's working as a statistician, now the person is working as a data science, very simply telling. So when you are just going ahead with the 20 years ago, now you are implementing some new formulas. So that thing are known as your data mining technology. Then predictive analytics, that's nothing but you are just going to forecast your future. That's what your predictive analysis. So the next thing is data science. So data science is nothing but the current field. So all this above stuffs, the statistics, data mining, predictive analytics is actually evaluated to data science. So data science is not a new field. It's a 25 years old field, but the name is changed and some constant evaluation also happens. So when you are going for a job offer, the people will ask you about your what to say. They will expect you data analytics, but the role they may given is a big data. So this kind of confusion will always happen when you are going for the interviews. So we are having a lot of programming languages in your
Uh, one thing, to know this data science in detail, we have to know Excel as well, right?
no,
Not required.
no.
Okay.
I told
So,
B18 is going to handle the tools. So
okay.
only for the dashboard purpose you need Excel.
Okay. Suppose you told we'll be handling around, for example, around 10,000 field data. So when we have to see it in detail, so what should we do? Like in
Sorry.
data set, we have a data of around 10,000. Uh,
Okay.
okay. For that, we need to know the data what is there inside, or it's for any production purpose.
Jay, I'm not getting your question clearly. You ask clearly.
Hello. For example, we have a 10,000 data. Okay. So for that, we need to analyze it. So for that, we need just a dashboard. That is what I'm understanding from this. Hello. Okay, Lee.
So now what's your question, Jay?
No, my question was, suppose we are having an around 5,000 or 10,000 or 10 like any number of data. We
Okay.
have to analyze the data, right?
Right.
Only if we can analyze the data, we can do something, we can work on it. So for
Sorry.
that, hello. Okay,
So now what you are trying to ask?
no, I'll ask the last. Okay, probably you can continue. I'll continue. I'll ask the question last.
Priya, Akash, do you guys having any questions, please?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Super. Akash,
Ma'am.
fine, right?
Yes.
Um, okay, guys. Let's we go ahead with our another theory. So this theory is nothing but your descriptive statistics. So this descriptive statistics is all about the very basic stuffs. Okay. So when you are going ahead with this descriptive statistics, you are going to deal with the data. As we are going stepping with the data science, of course, we are going to deal with only data, right? So the data which you are actually dealing with, we can able to classify that into two part. One is population, another one is a sample. So population means a collection of a data. Sample means a subset of population. Let's we have a small discussion. So now I am asking you to collect a feedback about one university. Okay. So what we can do? So if I'm asking you to collect the feedback from the students in the university, what you guys will suggest me to do? No answer.
We are going to ask individual person to get the
Hmm.
feedback from them.
Okay. So now what we are going to do is probably you are walking to this university and you are just going to ask feedback from the user. So now there is a two kind of question I may ask from you. Are you going to collect a population or are you going to collect the sample feedbacks? So population means you are going to the university and you are going to ask feedback from each and every student. So is it possible? So it will take a lot of time as well, right? So if you are going to that university in a one day, you can't able to get the data from feedback from all the students. The reason is some people's may be in leave, or some people's may be in abroad, some people's may be in a distance education, sometimes some people's may be the part-time peoples to become. So these kind of process, because of this kind of stuff, we can't able to get in a day, we can't able to get the feedback from all other peoples. So if you can able to get, there is 1500 students, if you can able to get the 1500 feedback, then that's known as your population. So population is a less, it's a kind of more time consumption, and it is a little expensive. But when you are going for a sample, you are walking through the library or you are walking through the canteen, and you are just pointing out the peoples, and you are just asking you the feedback from this particular peoples. So that's known as your sample. So sample means you are not going to get the 1500 feedbacks, but you are going to get the 150 data of the feedback. So that's what your sample and the population is. So hard to observe, hard to contact is your population. Easy to observe and easy to contact is your sample. So mostly the data will be handling a sample data only. So here we have two things. One is a randomness, another one is representativeness. So randomness means you are entering into the university. You can't simply randomly pick, right, because you don't know who are the students or who are the staffs and who are some other peoples. So now what you are actually going to do here is you are just entering into the university, and you are getting a student database, and you are just going to collect the student. So from the database you are getting the student means it will directly represent only the students. Apart from student, it won't represent anything else. So that's what your representativeness is. So here we have some types of data. One is categorical, another one is a numerical. So when it comes to this categorical data, always some category. So male, female, yes, no, failure, success. So if you are having some categorical, only this two, like a Boolean value, true, false. So this is known as your categorical. It's going to make some groups. That's what your categorical data is. So for example, car brands. So in a car brands, you can able to make some car types as well. SUV, hatchback, and then what we can tell. So we can make some categorical. So if you are making a group, that is known as your categorical data. If you are having a continuous representation of the data, then that is the numerical data. So numerical data, which is used to get a continuous changes. In a numerical data, we are having a two steps. One is a discrete, another one is a continuous. So this discrete are nothing but a children you want to have the height and weight. Sorry, you can't able to tell children height and weight in a discrete. You can tell your 10th mark or 12th mark as a discrete. So discrete is some number it is representing. It is not going to change. That's what your discrete is. So once you score the 10th mark, until you are going to again write the 10th exam, it will never change. So that's what your discrete is. Continuous means some continuous changes. For continuous data, we can tell your stock market data, or you can tell children's height and weight. These are the like continuous data which we can able to tell. So the next thing is representing your categorical variables with the help of graphs. You can able to make a pie chart or a bar chart or a Pareto diagram, frequency distribution tables. This all the some kind of representation for the categorical variables. So now here you are having ADDI, BMW, percentage. So when you are just having this data, if I am asking you to group it out, this is a categorical data. Okay, you can able to represent the categorical data with the help of bar chart or a pie chart or this again a histogram like this. We are having a one more principle that is nothing but a Pareto principle, which is known as 80-20. 80-20 means if you make a 20% of changes, 80% you will see the result. So if Microsoft is fixing 20% of its software bug, 80% of Microsoft productivity will get increase in the sales. So that's what your Pareto diagram is. So the next thing is histogram. By using a histogram also you can able to plot the graphs. And now age groups. Now you are just going to make which age group peoples are more happy. So that's what your now calculation is. So students performance, if you are making a student's performance, then it's a continuous data. So this continuous data we can able to make it in a scatter plot or a line plot or the linear plot like this. So the next theory is all about central tendency. This all is already aware of these concepts. So when you are just going ahead with the central tendency, we are having a three formulas. One is mean, another one is median, another one is mode. So this concept is actually we studied in our school days as well, but I will just give a one glance. So mean, average, median, mid value, mode, the most repeated value. So this is your mean formula. See, when you are simply going ahead with this mean, so for example, now you are having some group of values. So sum of all data values divided by number of data values. This is what your mean data is. So you added all this number and you divided by 7. So you will be getting a 15. So this is what your mean data is. Mean data means you are just going to get, you are going to add everything and divide it by number of value. So you will be getting the average of your data set. That's what your mean is. Median means you are having some data like looks like this, like 1, 3, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. And now if I am asking you to get the median means you are going to separating the two halves. So for example, first we used to sort it out. Anyhow, it's a sort out value. So total you are having a 7. So it's very easier for us. So this first 3 and last 3, you can able to get this the mid value. So this mid value is median. In case if it's an even number means you will get a 2 mid value. So you can apply this formula 4 plus 5 divided by 2. So the 4.5 is your median value. So this is your median value calculation. And the next thing is a mode. Mode means the most repeated values. So now in this, you are having a 5, 8, 13, 15, 17. You don't have a mode here. So when you are having a this, you have a 3, 5, 7, 13, 3, 7, 9, 3. So here 3 is repeated, 7 also repeated. So you have a 2 mode. So now which mode will be acceptable? When you are going for this 3, this is 1 and this is 2 and this is 3. So 7 is repeated for only 2 times. The most repeated values will be considered as your mode data type. So the next thing is, I gave this data set for you guys and I am asking you to calculate mean, median, mode. So the first step you calculated the mean and second step you calculated the median and the third step you calculated the mode as well. So now observe the data and tell me which performance will be better. So in this data set, actually I am having New York City and LA City, one pizza shop average value. So let's you assume 1 is a Monday, 2 is a Tuesday, 3 is a Wednesday, like this. So averagely, I am asking you by average, if I am putting a shop in New York, how much average I can expect? And if I am putting a shop in LA, how much average I can expect in a week or in a 10 days? So I gave you the 11 data, but for LA we have only 10 days, 10 data, anyhow you are processing it. So in this 10 data, you are giving the, in mean value, you are giving the column, you are giving total, it's having around $11 as average and LA 5.50 as average and mean also same. mean and median both are same. We don't have a mode, so we don't need to worry about that. So for you can come to know for the LAs, you can go with the mean or median. It's not a big deal. Anyhow, we are getting a same value, so you don't need to worry. But when it comes to New York City, for mean you have one value, for median you are having another value, and for mode you are having another value. So having this all these different ideas or different values will really hard to identify which one is best here. So in this scenario, as a data scientist, you guys needs to choose which formula is actually more fit for this problem. You can choose a mean, you can choose a median, you can choose a mode. It's all up to you guys. No one is going to ask you the question why you were chosen this. But the final output, it must be very efficient and perfect. So that is the thing which is actually belongs to the data scientist problem solving techniques. That's the reason we are telling as a data scientist, the people must have the problem solving. So in this scenario, if you are telling a mean, median or mode based on any result, it's not going to bother. So you are not going to get any trouble. But when this process is happening in a real time, if mean is better than median, then the result, the output will be little efficient for you. So this median is better than mode. If you are giving a mode, then it won't give the better efficient. So it will, if you are not choosing the right method, you can't able to get the right output will be always right. You can tell averagely the person can make a $11 or a $6 or a $3. It's not a big deal, but the output will seriously impact for your client or for your company. When you analyze and if you give some result, if the average values not exactly meet their expectation means, then they will point out on you. So how to choose the right stuff? That is not a programming language to explain. That is your own problem solving skill. That's the reason we are telling for this field, the peoples we need to handle the problems, who's having a good logical thinking and who's having a good problem solving, so that peoples will can able to handle this field. So that's the thing here. You guys needs to understand. There is no right and there is no wrong, but it's all about your logical thinking. So that's all for today, guys. Kindly work out Python for today, and I hope Akash did some assignments, but others it's not done with the assignments. So as with the theory class, go ahead with the theory plus go ahead with this program. Tomorrow also we're going to discuss theory only. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, guys.
Myra,
The meeting is about to expire. Now, see Jai, ping me in WhatsApp the doubts.
okay, okay.